What's going on, guys? We are back with another YouTube video, and today we got a very special video for you guys. I also wanted to say sorry I took a little break. I had a little family thing. I had to do a road trip and go hang out with family and stuff like that, but we're back to 2, 3, 4 videos a week. I don't know, but we're gonna really try to full throttle this YouTube thing. I promise you guys. So you guys can expect a lot more content soon. I have a lot of stuff lined up that you guys might be interested in. One of them being I will be at SneakerCon, Washington, D.C. right here. You can come see your boy if you guys are in the DC area or want to travel to DC. Your boy's gonna be there. SneakerCon, let's go. Second thing I wanted to say, I've been sampling some merch here and there, and I don't know exactly what we're gonna end up doing with it. I just want to drop some t-shirts. That's literally it. We're not doing some crazy whole thing. I just think it'd be cool. I have a really cool t-shirt idea in mind. I want to drop it, see what you guys think. Super limited, but we'll see. But as of right now, that is still in the making. Okay, now we can get into this, and this is gonna be how to make your sneakers fit properly. Okay, let's get into it. Setting my camera up on a shoebox. Okay, so your sneakers do not fit properly, whether it's they're too big, they're too small, they're a little bit roomy, maybe you have a wider foot. I got the solution for you guys. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna start off with is if your sneakers are too big, and this is whether you bought them too big or maybe you didn't know that the shoes ran a little bit big. For example, Air Force Ones, they run a little bit big, so you would half size down. That's what I do personally. Stuff like that. The shoes are too big. The first tip that I have for you guys, if your sneakers are too big, is to put another insole in there. And this is I actually do this quite a bit, okay? For two reasons. A, it fills up that extra space in the shoe, and B, it's a lot more comfortable. I'm not gonna lie, it is a lot more comfortable. Like these right here, okay? In all Jordan 3s, at least the older ones, 2013, 14, whatever, they fit me. I get a half size up in them, okay? That is how I like them to fit, and that's how they are the most comfortable for me. So I get these in 11.5. I normally wear an 11 and everything else, but for 3s and 4s, I will get a half size up. Now, the newer pairs with the different cut, the different tongue, the different shape, these ones for whatever reason fit me big. So I got these unknowingly in an 11.5 because that's what all my other Jordan 3s are, and they run a little bit big. So I ended up taking my Wave Runner insole. You guys can use any insole, it doesn't matter, but I use my Wave Runner insole. I put these in there and they fit perfect now. They didn't fit super big, but they fit me perfect now. They're snug on my feet. They feel great. And this is my first tip for you guys, is another insole. And that other insole makes a world of a difference. I promise you guys. This is something that you can do on any sneaker. Yeezys, Jordans, Jordan 3s, Jordan 4s, Jordan 1s, any of them. This works on anything. And if you guys do not have an extra insole laying around, I suggest you go to Walmart. Back when I was reselling and I would buy shoes that had no insoles in them, I would go buy the Dr. Scholl's. They're $1, $2, something like that. And they're universal and you just cut them out to your size. They work great, and I actually think they're more comfortable than the actual one. They make a world of a difference. All right, and the next tip that I have for you guys, if your sneakers are running a little bit big, is crease protectors. And I personally do not wear crease protectors because I think they're kind of uncomfortable, but when your shoes are a little bit snug, this can help fill up that toe box area and make it a lot more enjoyable, and your shoes are not gonna crease. When your shoes are too big, they crease differently than they would if they were true to size fitting you. And it just, you can tell by the crease that the shoes are too big for the person, okay? So, the crease protectors that I recommend are the foam ones. These are the Force Field. They are foam. They are bendy and literally just a piece of foam. These ones are the ones I recommend. These are the most comfortable, and they have a 3M on the top adhesive. You put them in your shoes and stick them to the top of the toe box, and they do not move. Now, you cannot use these multiple times on multiple different pairs of shoes, so I would leave them in whatever shoes they are in, just because that adhesive is gonna wear out and they might move around a little bit. I know a lot of people that purposely buy a half size or a whole size up so that they can put the crease protectors in there. Some people are super weird about creasing. I don't really care, but a lot of people do that just on average, just so that they can fit the crease protector in there. The next tip I have for you guys is the good old-fashioned double sock, okay? And this will get you by in a pinch, okay? Because obviously you got an extra pair of socks laying around. I feel like everybody does. You throw throw on a second pair of socks, or you go with the more Nike Elite socks or something with some serious padding in there. That will definitely help you guys a lot. But I do think it's weird if you're wearing shorts and the socks are showing and you have double socks. I think that looks kind of weird in my opinion, but this is up to you guys. If you guys are wearing jeans or cargos or sweatpants or some sort of long fitting pants, double sock is no shame in that, and it does make them more comfortable. You have more cushioning in there, more comfortable, and your feet won't be barking at the end of the day like the crease protectors will do. All right, and these next two tips I have for you guys, I'm gonna kind of combine into one because they have to do with lacing. And lacing is very important when it comes to shoes, whether they fit big or whether they fit small. The comfort, the lacing actually has a lot to do with that. If your shoes are too big, two things I recommend you doing. First tip I would have for you guys is lace them tighter in the middle. You can loose lace your shoes, but in the middle, down towards the bottom and in the middle, I would suggest that you lace them tighter and then have the free up top right here. Then it still has that loose look to them, that relaxed vibe to them, and your feet aren't sliding around in there. And this brings me to my last tip for you guys with the whole lacing technique for shoes that fit a little bit too big is go down a size in the lace, okay? And this will allow you to lace them tighter all the way up to the top and not look weird. You're not gonna have that extra laces hanging over, those like bunny ear laces hanging down. You're not gonna have that. You go down one size in the laces and this will allow you to lace them all the way up to the top and still have this hanging over when you're tightening them, because it is gonna look weird if your shoes are all the way tightened all the way up to the top and then you have a whole bunch of lace left over. That's just gonna give off like an uncomfortable vibe and just not something that's convenient, I would say. All right, and now we are to the point of if your shoes are too small or if they're fitting snug, or let's say you ordered the shoes and you didn't know that they ran tight. For example, Yeezys. Most all Yeezys run tight and they run like a half size or even a full size down, like with 350s. I recommend going a full size up in 350s so you have a more comfortable fit and your toes aren't busting out of this like arrow shape at the end. I recommend that. And then with like most 700s, like Wave Runners or any of the other colors, I recommend going at least a half size up just because of how slim this toe box gets, and your toes right here are gonna be like screaming. So to fix that, I recommend you take the insole out. And with Yeezys, most of the comfort is in the boost. The comfort is gonna be in the boost. That squishy, these are cooked by the way, but the squishy boost in the sole is where you get the comfort from. You do not get the comfort from the insole. Versus a sneaker like this, an SB Dunk, where you would have the Zoom Air unit in the bottom. You will have an air unit right here and then a squishy fabric material right here in the middle. You don't have that when it comes to Yeezys. So Jordan 1s, Jordan 3s, Jordan 4s, they're gonna be more uncomfortable without the insole in them, but you'll be able to wear them without your feet being tight all day. That's not fun. The next tip that I have for you guys is to wear thinner socks, okay? And I know this kind of sounds like it wouldn't even make a difference, but it really does. If you're wearing a Nike sock or like a Hanes sock, that is gonna be more of a thicker material, and especially up towards the toe and towards the heel. Most Nike socks have like that reinforced, bigger material in that kind of area versus like just a normal everyday sock or like the more business type socks. They're very, very thin. Those will give you a lot more room than you would actually think. Like this makes kind of a big difference. I personally notice a difference if I'm wearing like jeans with like Nike Elite socks in there, or like the just normal like Nike dry fit socks. They will have that extra layer of padding in there, and that can make a world of a difference versus a thinner sock. It'll give you a little bit more room to play with in the shoe. The next tip that I have for you guys for sneakers that fit too small is to stuff them when you are not wearing them. And what I mean by this is you can get any sort of stuffing, whether it's paper towels or the paper that comes in the box. You wad that up like this in this shape and you ram them in the toe box. Like when you're not wearing them, you want this thing to be stuffed all the way to the max. And that over time is gonna free up space in the toe box in this region right here. I know this is very, very uncomfortable on Jordan 1s. Is, for me anyway, is this seam right here. When your shoes are too tight, this little overlapping seam right here, this is very uncomfortable when your Jordan 1s are too tight. This is exactly what you want to free up. So what you're gonna wanna do is when you're not wearing it, I recommend getting one of these, the cardboard inserts that come in the shoes, and matching it with a wad of paper towels or paper that comes in the shoe box, or any sort of like stuffing you can possibly find. Put this under the shoe tree right there and then ram that thing all the way into the toe box. You wanna make sure that that thing is completely stuffed at all times when you are not wearing it. That will free up a little bit of space for you. The next tip that I have for you guys, I have never done personal, so I don't know. I know it works, but I don't want you guys to damage your shoes. I have seen people do this in person. I've seen it be done. I've never done it myself. So what you're gonna wanna do is put on like 3 or 4 pairs of socks and then put your feet in the shoes, right? So you're gonna have 4 pairs of socks on and you're gonna shove your feet in these shoes, and you want to heat up the material with a blow dryer or heat gun, whatever you guys have. This is not a blow dryer, it's a flashlight, but pretend it is. So you're gonna wanna shove your foot in there with like 4 pairs of socks on and then heat up the shoe around there. And this will actually, if the shoes are leather, this will actually form the shoes around your foot. And if you have 4 pairs of socks on, that is going to free up some of that space. It's gonna form to that 4 pairs of socks that you have on your feet. And then when you wear them normally, they're gonna be a little bit looser. Now, like I said, I've never tried this, but if you do it, I would recommend keeping it pretty far away and don't stay in one spot way too long, because that will actually damage the shoe. But this is an actual technique that I know some like NBA players actually do this kind of stuff. But like I said, I've never done it personally. I remember when I was younger and NMDs were like the craze, right? I think I was in middle school. The NMDs just took over and I ended up looking everywhere for Adidas NMDs, and I found one pair. It was at like a Journeys and they were too small for me, but I ended up buying them anyway just because I wanted to have the coolest, hottest NMDs at the time. And those big squares on the side, my feet hung over them and they were so uncomfortable. I took the insole out and I loosened them up. It made them a lot more bearable, but still, I still remember that, wearing those all day, every day at school. Man, my feet were
fried, bro.
All right, guys, that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I post, because I do post a lot. And like I said, I am going to be at SneakerCon, Washington, D.C. towards the end of August. I think it's August 20th. I don't know off the top of my head right now while I'm filming, but I'll put it up on the screen. And that being said, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Peace! Tell them to subscribe. Subscribe!